Guys, everything's on an app nowadays, right? We got an app to pay probably our mortgage. We have an app to pay our car payment, app for rent, app for electric bill, gas, you name it. There's an app for pretty much everything that you do. You even have an app for taking pictures of your food to count your calories. So it would naturally make sense that we got an app for our workout routine. So it's right on our phone. All our numbers are recorded, and we got a record of everything so that we can make progress. Because I always say this, remember something, just like anything else in life, if you're working out and you're just kind of aimlessly doing whatever you're doing, you do have a plan, and in my opinion, your plan is to fail. If you want to have success in the gym and progressive overload and continued results and keep getting better and stronger and more well-developed and more refined, you have to have a plan. All right, because we always say there's a plan no matter what. If the plan isn't put in place by you, well, then a plan's going to be put in place by fate, and that plan's probably going to fail. So you want to have a plan, and that's exactly what I'm here for right now. I have developed my own app from scratch, and I put my own personal workout program on there. This is not a fly-by-night program. This is over 35 years of my own experience, my own trial and error, and I've done a lot of different routines. I've done a lot of different routines that I've gotten advice from other people, that I've read books, and over the years, I think what ends up becoming the best is I've developed my own personal routine based off all my knowledge and all my experience. And the training routine program I have right now, I think it's stellar. I think it's great. I think you can be very successful with it, and I think it is so well thought out. I think the problem is a lot of times when we get these workout routines from celebrities or people who have become superstars, was it really that well thought out? Did they even get 100% of their own concept in there, or was somebody else's in there, or did they do some kind of marketing to make it look a certain way that really didn't give it the best result? I tend to find that. I don't know how many routines I've done, and I say, well, wait a minute, where's the abs? Or they forgot about this, and you know what? It's because it really wasn't that well thought out. Well, I can tell you this, if you get my app, it is so well thought out, and it's years of experience, and everything and every exercise is literally placed where it is with an intent and purpose. I don't miss anything. Abs are in there, calves are in there. We don't neglect anything. We make sure we take care of the cardio too. It's a full body routine, and I just think it's just an excellent routine, and it's really the accumulation of everything I've learned. So you're getting something quality if you're going to get something from me, and you can get it for $14.99, guys. It's a one-time fee. There's no reoccurring fees. It's not a monthly fee, and you can have my app minutes after you get it. So you're going to go with trainwitheddy.fit. Now, you don't have to do anything at first. You can scroll up and down, take a look at it, see what you think about it. You can DM me any questions you have about it before you pick it up. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And then you can pick it up, like I said, for $14.99. You get the app downloaded to your phone. You get a printable PDF that you can print out on computer paper, and it allows you to look at it on paper and before you go to do the routine for the day, get it really well in your head. Then, of course, when you go to the gym, you got your app, and that's the key. You're able to record your numbers, document everything you do. And the routine itself, let me explain it because I'm very proud of it. It's a 4-day split. It takes 4 days to get through the whole body, okay? It's a 12-week program. It has what's called progressive overload, which is what you want to do, so we're going to have continued success. It has what's called deloading weeks built into it, which is so important, and I'm going to explain. I think that's the reason why I'm 50 years old this year, and I've never had a major injury. I've never had a tear, because I do deloading weeks, and I'm going to explain that whole procedure and how that works. A lot of people miss that part. I don't know how many routines you're going to see there's no deloading week, and it's so important to have that. It's a 12-week program, as I said, but you are not done in 12 weeks. This is the kind of program you can do this for years, okay? You eventually want to probably make some changes to your exercises, and I'll offer new things, but you can really go quite a long time on this, guys. So it's a 12-week program, but the magic in the program is in the 13th week, because in the 13th week, you're going to repeat the program, but the key is, because you had the app, here's where the magic is. You're going back to week 1, you're going to look at what your numbers are, and you're going to come just a little bit higher on them to start. And that's where we have the success, because now we're going to redo the program a second time, and we're starting a little bit higher, so we're always going to end a little bit higher. And you can see where we're going. Then you're going to repeat it again. okay? Explain the program. It's a 4-day split, as I said, so the whole body is trained in 4 days, complete routine. So day 1 would be chest and side delts, so the cap of the delt, okay? Day 2 is going to be back and rear delts, so the rear of the deltoid. Day 3 is going to be arms, so biceps and triceps. Day 4 is going to be legs, quads and hamstrings, and we do calves with the legs. Now, abs, of course, are not neglected. They're in there with back, and I like them in with back because I think it ties in very well with back. Remember what I said, all my exercises, I sort of, there's synergy. There's a reason why they are exactly where they are, and it's very well thought out. Now, let me explain. If you're, into a routine like this, the first thing you probably thought is, where's the shoulder day? There's no shoulder day. That's right, there isn't a shoulder day. That's by design. Shoulders are not neglected, but we're splitting up shoulders between chest day and back day. And we're only doing, and hear me out on this, because I have years of experience, and one of my best body parts is my shoulders. I have very well defined shoulders. They're like boulders. I got the cap, the rear delt is fully developed. They're not overly developed in the front like a lot of people have, and nothing in the back. Very well developed. It's the shoulder that you want, guys. What we do is basically 2 exercises. I'm driving, so you're going to get my GPS a little bit. 2 exercises for shoulders, and that's all we need. On chest day, we're going to work the cap. So we're going to do a bunch of side laterals. I'll explain. And on back day, we're going to work the rear delt, which, if you think about it, the rear delt sort of ties right into your back, okay? And we're going to do a lot of cable or dumbbell laterals designed and targeted for the rear delt. We don't specifically work the front delt, and that's by design. And you know what? At 50 years old, I never had a major tear or injury, but I was really starting to have a lot of problems with my shoulders. I was getting to the point where I had frozen shoulder, where if I was in the car like I am right now, if I went to put my arm up to change the radio station, I'd have like pain in my shoulder. It was really getting bad. And I always had a dedicated shoulder day where I would do front lateral raises for the front delt. I would do the side lateral raises for the cap. I would do the rear. I would do the overhead presses. I would do upright rows, just a tremendous amount of stuff for shoulders. And were they developed nicely? Yeah, they were, but I had a lot of shoulder problems. What I ultimately ended up doing was I removed shoulder day completely. And like I said, I put it just between back and chest. 2 things happened for me. I have no shoulder issues anymore. They don't hurt me at all. So you older guys, you guys that are my age, really listen to this. My shoulders, I have no problems with them. They're not bothering me at all. And number 2, they developed actually better than ever. So it's a win-win all the way around. And here's what I kind of found. And you've probably heard this before, a lot more nowadays than in the past. But when you train chest, you work the hell out of your front deltoid. You really do. You work it like you wouldn't believe. And especially if you do a lot of incline presses. And if you're looking for aesthetics as far as the look of the muscle, everybody knows that you really got to do a lot of incline presses, because everybody has a great lower chest and mid chest if they work it at all. But what is lacking in most people, and what really makes it look great, is the upper chest. You have to have that upper chest development, and that's requiring, doing incline presses and angles where you're really getting a lot of shoulder work. Now listen, even when you do flat dumbbell or bench press, you're still getting a lot of shoulder work. Even if you do things correctly, and I do all good form, where your elbows are actually tucked in a bit when you're pressing, so you're taking the stress off your shoulders. No matter what, you're getting a lot of, especially front delt activation with the chest. There's a tremendous amount of it. So what I found is, I don't train the front delt at all. I actually feel like it actually ends up giving you an overdeveloped front deltoid. And how many guys do you see that have the overdevelopment here and they have nothing in the back? It looks weird. It's like all front forward. Number 2, I think that's what actually causes the overtraining and the injury to the shoulder. You're actually just doing so much work on that area. It's too much. So I don't work the front delt at all, and I actually don't do any overhead presses anymore. I don't have a shoulder day. I feel that and by the way, guys, the overhead press mainly hits the front delt more than the cap and the rear. Okay, to develop the cap, you got to do side laterals. And to develop the rear, you got to do rear lateral type exercises. So I eliminated overhead presses. So I'm not getting a chest day with pressing and then an overhead day of pressing with dumbbells with the shoulders as well. So that to me worked wonders it did for me. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. I don't have the pain, and I don't have the soreness in the shoulder, and the development I have is better than it's ever been. So all we're doing is on chest day, we're doing a full routine of chest. And by the way, my workouts are less than 1 hour, all of them. I don't really want you to be in the gym. I feel if you're in the gym more than an hour, you get to the point where you're just going through the motions and you're not even doing anything. You want to get in, you want to get the work done, and you want to get out. I have a decent amount of volume, and we even actually, between sets, we actually keep track of our time so that it's done at a certain pace. But it's I'm telling you, it's just great. So on chest day, we're doing a lot of side laterals. Okay, at the end of the workout, we're going to do some dumbbells and some cables, and we're going to work on that cap. Okay, turn right on, and then on back day, we're going to do a lot of rear laterals. So we're going to use cables. I like to come across. You'll see the exercises I have. And by the way, guys, if you have questions, I send you videos on the exact exercise and how to do it. And we do an exercise I love where we actually use the incline pull down bar. Turn right onto US out like this, north. And we actually come back with it over our head, and it isolates the rear delt like nothing else. It's really the only way, in my opinion, because you're using a bar that you can eliminate the overworking of the traps when you're doing rear delts. But I really have an excellent rear delt routine, and pretty much everybody, unless they really focus on the rear delts, has underdeveloped rear delts. Everybody's got an overdeveloped front delt. They have maybe a decent cap and like nothing on the back, and that just doesn't look right. You want a bolder shoulder. That's what I got. Okay, so arm day, I like a dedicated arm day. I always did. We start with triceps and we end with biceps. Why? I like it that way. I like to get the blood. I feel like when I get the blood in the triceps, when I get to the biceps, I get a much better pump, a much better workout for my biceps. So that's just the way I do it. Really, guys, it's a great routine. It takes 4 days to get through it, and then you're going to repeat it. Now, you'll notice when you're looking at my routine on paper or in the app, there's no rest days. It's not that you can't have them or that you shouldn't have them, because sometimes we need them. I don't put them in there. I want you, based off how you feel, to take a rest day when you need it. Now, if you're in the beginning, you're probably going to need a rest day. You know, maybe after you do chest and back, you might need a rest day before you get to arms. You got to feel your body. But once you get going with this routine and you start getting into it, you're probably going to find that you need less rest days, and you're going to have weeks where you can do all 4 days of the program and go right back to it. Okay, you might have a rest day in between your 4 days and then go back again, but you're going to find that you're going to have weeks, especially when you're more rested, less stressed out, where you're going to be able to do all 4 days and go right back to it. If you do all 4 days and go right back to it and all 4 days again, you're actually 1 day short of hitting each body part twice within a week. All right, so it's really, you really can get a lot of repetitive work with this. You can train just short of each body part twice a week, especially if you go right back to the program. It takes 4 days to get through it, and it's 12 weeks on the course. The first 3 weeks you're doing progressive overload, and the app has this down to a science. It's got you showing week 1 to week 3 the effort that you're putting in each set. You're progressively getting more and more effort. The goal is to increase for 3 weeks. Now, in the 4th week, you heard me talk about before, deloading weeks. That's where we put the deloading week in, okay? So in the 4th week, we're gonna do a deloading week. What is a deloading week? We're gonna go to 50 to 60% of the numbers that we've been using, so we're gonna reduce it. We're actually gonna reduce the volume of exercise and the intensity. So we're gonna go to 50 to 60%. This is done for 2 reasons. Number 1, to keep the overtraining away, which also helps with our mental clarity. And number 2, more importantly, to keep the injuries away, okay? This is one of the biggest reasons why I think people get injured, is because they just keep trying to go up and up and up and up. I feel that if you keep doing this, the inevitable injury is just coming, because you're just constantly not stressing the tendons, the muscles, the ligaments to the max. You're not giving them a break. So every 4th week, we do that deloading week where the body gets a break. We take a rest. We're still working out. We're still keeping things going, but we're only doing 50 to 60%. And then, of course, in the 5th week, we go back to another 3 weeks of progressive overload. And then again, we repeat a deloading week. And every 4th week, no matter what, we always have a deloading week in there. And that's how I think I'm 50 years old and I've never had a major injury, because I've always done deloading weeks. I've done them for years and years and years. So it takes 12 weeks to get through the program. But like I said, and I already said, I'm repeating myself, the magic is in the 13th week. That's where you're really going to see things start to come together, because you've now recorded 12 weeks worth of workouts meticulously in the app. You got everything, the amount of reps you did, the weight, the intensity, and everything. And what you're going to do in that 13th week is you're actually going to be lower than where you ended in the 12th week. Because we're going to actually rebuild, but we're going to go back to week 1, and we're going to look at our numbers in week 1, and in week 13, we're going to bring those numbers up just a little bit higher. Not a lot, a little bit higher. And then we're going to build 12 weeks from there. And see where I'm going with this? It's done correctly. We're not going to go and jack the numbers up by like 50% in the 13th week. We're going to go up just a little bit from where we were in week 1, so that by the time we get through another 12 weeks, we end up at the end of that 12 weeks, we're going to look back at the first 12 weeks a little bit higher on those numbers. And that's how we have continued success. That's how we don't overtrain. That's how we don't get stale. That's how we keep getting bigger. That's how we keep getting more defined. And it's a plan. And now, if you do this with me, you got a plan to succeed. I also have cardio in there. All right. Now, what I like to do, guys, I like to do cardio on an empty stomach, fasted in the morning. Why? Well, it's real simple. It's the best, in my opinion, it's the best use of the time to get the result that you want. So when you wake up in the morning and you're in a fasted state, you got no glucose, you got nothing running through your blood, you do your cardio right then and there. And I do steady state cardio. So I don't, like, in other words, I'll walk briskly or I'll ride the bicycle briskly. Honestly, I prefer to do mostly walking, and I try to do it outside if I can, because I like it. But of course, if it's raining out or it's winter, it's cold, it's icy, I'll do it on the treadmill in the gym. But I like to do a brisk walk. That's my favorite thing to do. I think walking is probably one of the best things you can do. A brisk walk for 30 to 45 minutes. So moderate pace, where you're getting the heart rate up. That's the perfect zone for tapping into the body fat. And because you're doing it in a fasted state, you don't have to burn through any calories. You got to remember something. If you do your cardio later in the day after you've eaten a few meals, you're most likely not even going to come close to burning even a quarter of the calories you've already ate before you're done with that workout routine. So hence, you're not even going to tap into burning any fat at all. But if you do it in a fasted state in the morning, you're immediately going to be able to tap into those fatty acids as the source of fuel. And if you're doing a moderate pace, your body's going to be inclined to use the fat, because once you go into an anaerobic state, which is the weightlifting state, the resistance training, your body tends to look for glucose, sugar, because it's a much cleaner, easier, faster, powerful source of energy. When you're doing a steady state cardio, it's much easier for your body to run off of fatty acid, off your body fat, as the source of fuel. So that's also built into the app, guys. This is a full routine. It includes everything. It's so well thought out. Like I said, it's $14.99. And in that price, you not only get the downloadable app, you get the printable PDF, and you get me for DMing any questions. And that $14.99 is a one-time fee. It is not reoccurring. You pay that and you get everything. And guys, you can ask me any questions you want. If you're not sure about an exercise, I'll explain it to you. I'll send you a video of the exercise so you'll know what to do. If you have limited equipment in your gym, or you're working out at home and you don't have the equipment I'm calling for, let me know. You can still do this routine. I'll give you the alternatives, most likely with dumbbells, but you're going to be able to do it. If you have an injury, we'll try to work around it. I can't promise. If it's bad, I'm going to tell you myself, you got to take some time off if that happens. But if we can work around it, we will work around it, okay? So any questions at all you have, guys, I'm a wealth of knowledge. I've been doing this for over 35 years, and I think I have the best form of knowledge, which is trial and error. Yes, I've read the books, I've looked at different routines, but then I developed my own routine. This is all my own personal stuff, guys. So check it out. Go to trainwitheddy.fit. You'll see the app right there for the $14.99. You can scroll through it first. I allow you to look at it. You can look at it, how it works, see what you think. If you have any questions about it before you pick it up, no problem. Just DM me. And then, guys, listen, you can pick that thing up. You could have it downloaded to your phone. 5 minutes later, you could have that PDF printed out. You could be in the gym a couple hours later, and you could be on your way with a plan to succeed. So check it out, trainwitheddy.fit.